Hello everyone, Britt here for Scrappy Boy Stamps, and today we are doing a tutorial hiding a gift card with the Beer Mug A2 gift card holder. There are some really helpful directions on the back of the package, so if you have the die, go ahead and follow along. Let's cut our pieces. This first piece is the base of the mug. We're going to cut it for this example 2 times. One pass will cut and emboss the hidden gift card sleeve. The solid rectangular piece is the liquid inside of your mug, and the rectangle with the curved cutouts represents the mug details. You'll have 2 pieces that represent the foamy head of the beer, the base piece, and then the detail piece, which layers on top. Lastly, you'll have the most appropriate word, beer. You'll have 2 dies, a main word die, and an outline. Now that we've cut all of our pieces, let's assemble. The long piece with the scallops at the top and the bottom will serve as the holder for our gift card. This die not only cuts, but also embosses 3 score lines at the bottom to help you create the little cup where the gift card will sit. You're going to fold and burnish those 3 score lines, wrapping the 2 small tabs around the back of the piece and securing with liquid glue. I really wanted to make sure this part was secure, so I used 2 little craft clips and held these 2 tabs down until they dried completely. Now let's move on to the mug. This may be the biggest do as I say and not as I do moment. I just fully did not read the directions and didn't put this together correctly. I'm showing you here that I use this little hack where I put a piece of waxy paper, and that little piece of waxy paper helps the glue not stick where I don't want it to stick. But if I could talk too past me, I would say, girl, you're working too hard. The side of the mug with the handle only needs glue on the handle. The way to do this correctly, and I quote from the back of the packaging, glue together only the handle and the edge of the opposite side of the mug to create your pocket. If done correctly, your gift card will slip right in. The way I did it makes that fit very tight. 0 out of 10, would not recommend doing it that way. But moving on, to make the foamy head of the beer, you'll take the detail piece and layer it on top of the base piece using liquid glue. Lay that aside for the moment to dry. Then bring in the rectangular beer layer and use liquid glue to adhere the mug detail piece right over the top of the beer layer. Once those pieces are dry, adhere that rectangular detail piece directly on top of the body of the mug. You'll see that it's designed to fit towards the top of the mug with a small even outline. And here we go again. As you can see, it took slightly more force than crafts usually do to remove that little waxy piece of paper. And then, and I cannot stress this enough, it was a bit of a challenge to get that extra piece inside the pocket. Once that piece can be inserted into the mug, we're going to attach the foam. I recommend that you audition that piece with the insert fully inside the mug. And when you know where you want it, here's a top tip. Adhere this foamy headpiece with foam tape. This will give that foam piece a little bit of height. This keeps the head of the beer from interfering when you are moving the gift card up and down. Look at me trying to pretend that that is not problematically tight. At the end of the day, I did actually fix this on my final project. Off camera, I slid a box cutter down inside and loosened the pocket. Once the gift card holder was done, I pulled out some of my Scrappy Boy 6x6 pattern paper. I wanted to make it look like the wallpaper and the floor of a bar. The navy blue retro pattern is from Summer Fling, and the wood paneling from I Love Pirates. You might have guessed I'm trying to create the perfect backdrop for all the lovable but dysfunctional characters from our newest collection, Neighborhood Bar. This collection was inspired by a television comedy depicting the proprietors and the patrons of a neighborhood bar. This collection is not only amazing if you're a fan of the show, with sentiments like where everybody knows your name, but it's also absolutely chock full of just general drink-oriented sentiments. Everything from cheers to poor decisions to it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Once I trimmed down both pieces, I have a finished panel that measures 5.5 by 5.5 to fit on a 6x6 card. Then I just used double-sided adhesive tape to attach the wood flooring strip to the background piece. The big impact for this card is the giant beer mug, so I felt it was unnecessary to add any more scene elements to this project. The beer mug really does fill most of the real estate on the front of my card. Then all of our fun, colorful characters filled up the rest of the scene, so no additional details were necessary. Now, when you are adhering the gift card holder to your project, it's important that you only put adhesive on the back of the mug. If you put it on the back of the foam, it will glue the gift card holder closed. Trust me, you don't want to get this far into a project and realize that that mechanism you worked so hard on doesn't work. Refer back to the beginning of this video and then ask me how I know that. You might be wondering why I wanted to include so many of the characters from these stamp sets onto this one project. And for me, it was kind of about the theme of the show that inspired these products. It's about the idea that friendship and chosen family can come from a sort of unlikely place. And what is just a store or a restaurant or even a bar to some, to others it might be the place where people really know you, where you have the space to be yourself, and where everybody knows your name. As for finishing touches, I didn't think this needed a whole lot. But I did think that adding something that was a little reminiscent of bubbles was pretty fun. I absolutely love all of these little shaker bits made by Sizzix. They're from the Making Essentials line, and they're sold in groupings of 5 different kinds of sequins and beads in either a complementary or monochromatic color scheme. The 2 that I'm using here are out of the gold and rose gold collections. They're a really excellent addition to your stash, and they're particularly useful alongside our Scrappy Boy confetti shaker plates. Once all my little details were added, I went ahead and mounted my finished card front onto my 6x6 card base. I once again wanted to check that my hidden gift card sleeve was actually working. And as you know, at the time, it was a little bit of a tight fit, and because of that, totally my mistake, I did feel like there was a little bit too much stress on that back panel. So in order to give that a little more structural integrity, I simply cut down a panel of this medium weight craft cardstock, basically eyeballing it so that it served as a liner, and then I used liquid adhesive to adhere the panel into my gift card sleeve. This was a very simple addition to make, and I feel like it really gave me a lot of stability where I previously did not have as much. This is definitely not an essential step. I honestly don't even know that I would have had to do it if I had constructed the mug correctly. Once I had that small fix in place, it was time to add my final element, the sentiment. I purposely used the manager, the bar manager, and all of the wait staff from the 2 stamp sets because I wanted to use the sentiment, "You're my favorite regular." I had to check the functionality of that gift card holder one more time, and finally this project is done. You know, I always make a second project, and I am in love with this one. I used the 3D shaped box card, and believe it or not, the Scrubs shaped card to make this adorable 3D box tee birthday card. Now this does fold flat, but I will warn you, with the addition of the tee, it will require quite a large envelope. But wait, there's more. I wanted to make a little book featuring the mason jar card die along with the A2 beer mug. Originally, I just felt inspired to create as many kinds of drinks as I could, but at the end of the day, I think this would be such a cute mini album for pictures from a bar hop. The book was fun and easy to put together utilizing the mini album tab dies. Now, you know I had fun with this collection because I usually only make 2 projects, but this time I had to make a third. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking with me through my comedy of errors. I know that Scrappy Boy and the rest of the team is so grateful to have you as our chosen family. We love you in our little crafty community, and we could not do this without you. Speaking of community, we would love for you to come and join us on our Facebook group and follow our Instagram. There you'll find new releases, shipping updates, a monthly challenge, and tons of inspiration from our amazing design team. If you wanted to get your hands on all of these stamps, dies, and pattern paper from this video, you can find all of this plus all of our new releases over on scrappyboy.com. Links to the store, all of our social media, and everywhere you can find me will be in the description box below. Lastly, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below telling me your order at the bar. It's totally okay if it's a Shirley Temple or a diet soda. We listen and we don't judge. And as always, if you remember nothing else, remember this. In the wise words of one of our favorite regulars, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear. Man, that was a great show. Cheers to you, crafty friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.